Welcome to the Retirement's Next Steps podcast. I'm your host, Jill Templeton-Haislip, Global Real Estate Advisor and Senior Real Estate Specialist with Russ Lyon Sotheby's International Realty DeGeorge Partners. This podcast is a valuable resource for retirees looking to connect with industry experts who can enhance your retirement experience. With so many companies, products, and services available, it can be overwhelming to know where to start. Let us help you navigate through it all and find the resources you truly need to make the most of your retirement years. As always, you can join us in person with each of our industry experts for the full presentation every month on the last Thursday at 4 p.m. Our office is located at 16872 East Avenue of the Fountains, Suite 103 in Fountain Hills, Arizona. Thanks for tuning in. Let's get started. Hi, today I am joined with Julia Moon from New Day Lifestyles. Julia, thank you so much for coming to Retirement's Next Steps workshop.
Thank you for having me.
So we are going to launch into what is a placement and referral specialist.
Okay. Well, it is somebody who is knowledgeable in all of the senior living communities, group homes, residential care, which includes independent living, assisted living, memory care, and even independent living group homes.
Okay, so when somebody is over a certain age, typically we're seeing this 62, 63 and up.
Even 55.
Okay.
Yes.
And they have a need, and they need to make a move into a community. Why do they want to get in touch with you at New Day Lifestyles rather than just going out and checking it out on their own?
Well, you can do that, check it out on your own, but it can be so overwhelming. And my goal is to help you narrow things down. So I'm going to get some information from you, what your needs are, if any, what your desires are, the location you would desire, as well as your budget.
This is a big move. Somebody's moving from typically their home, and they need to go into a different situation typically, right? Mm-hmm. And so having some guidance is where you step in, right?
Yes, okay. Exactly. So because Arizona is such a retirement location, destination, yes, say they are independent and just want to downsize. So they're going to call you first, and then they're going to call me, and I can help narrow their choices down that's going to meet their needs. If for some reason somebody has care needs, whether it be physical or cognitive, that's what we're really going to want to focus on. And sometimes care needs dictate the direction, whether it be a large community or into a smaller environment.
Now, you had touched on that Arizona has a lot of retirees.
Oh, boy.
If you were to guess, not to put you on the spot, but how many senior living options, like throughout Arizona, or let's say the Valley, do you think that there are? Group homes, standalone assisted livings, combination. It's overwhelming is the point I'm trying to make here.
It is. It's hundreds.
Absolutely.
Hundreds.
And so you really help to make that huge hurdle a bit more manageable.
Yes, and also like something that's going to meet your mom's needs. Maybe she doesn't need any care. So you're going to listen to your friend and say, oh, my mom really liked this place. However, if somebody else has different needs, then that place isn't necessarily going to be the best fit.
Right. So it's a completely personalized service.
It is. Yes. Very intentional on finding the right place for that person.
Okay.
Or persons.
Right. There is also a service that is an online service that some folks may have seen and heard of on the TV.
Yes.
Your service is very different from that.
That's right.
At the end of the day, everybody helps them to find a community. But why is your service so much better than maybe the one that we see on TV?
I'm so glad you asked. Yes. My service, like said before, going to be very intentional. So just because you give me your area and your budget, I'm going to come and meet you. I'm going to assess any of the care needs, get with doctors or any kind of care staff that would be needed. And then I'm going to either pick up a family member or meet them there. at the communities. But first, I'll give a list of what I've come up with, and then family or that person can go through them, decide yay or nay, and then we'll go from there.
And I think that's really key. So, from when I previously worked in senior living, this is a huge change for somebody. And when they just show up and don't know what to ask, and they came to us because we happened to be the one down the road or a friend, like you had said, referred them.
Yeah.
What I love about your service is that you were there holding their hand throughout the entire process and helping them to ask the questions they might not know, look at things differently than, maybe they would if they were there on their own. And I think that that's what's really key about the service that you guys offer.
Right.
Now, it's not just you
That's
who
right.
runs New Day Lifestyles, owns.
Right.
So tell me who your partner is.
Rami Kuros, and she's a respiratory therapist by education. Myself, I'm occupational therapy. So
yes, tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into being a senior placement?
It was, I came here about 10 years ago with my husband and was practicing occupational therapy. And I would see that when we were done, we were discharging, that, wow, there was still such a need. And sometimes they weren't safe to be at home.
Right.
And they didn't know what to do. The families didn't know what to do. And so I thought I can still help people after that next chapter. It's time.
That's wonderful. We appreciate that you've gone in because not everybody can do this. Now you guys are certified in what you are doing. So I think that that's really important. I think that sometimes people don't understand that there is the next level that you can take to do this. So can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, it's funny. You said that not everybody can do this. And technically, anybody, you,
True.
this person on the street,
yes,
by law can do it. It doesn't mean that they should or that you would get the quality service and attention. So there is a certification that a person can go and take, and you have to be doing this for at least a year before you could take the exam.
And I think that's really important because, like you said, anybody can do this. And
right.
You need to go with somebody who knows what they're doing, understands the importance of what the purpose is, and understands the communities. You're in and out of the communities all the time.
Yes.
So you really understand the inner workings.
That's right. And so even though a community or a group home was great last year, there can be staff turnover or changes in hands. And so we want to make sure this year also. And so we're also checking state records, checking reviews, checking with other even agents that have had a client or a resident move in there, because that's very important. But then also going in, and if there was some kind of state deficiency, speaking to the owner or the executive director about it, because you want to address it.
And things happen.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And so it's just understanding why did that happen
and what have they done to change it.
Yes. So do you work throughout all of Arizona or just here in the Valley?
Really all of Arizona. I mean, the focus is here in the Valley.
Sure.
But we have gotten some clients, up north in Flagstaff or Maricopa. Even one in Tucson that we just helped. So.
Oh wow, that's great.
But mostly the Valley.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when is the optimal time for somebody to get in touch with you?
Today.
Yes.
and I say that because when you start thinking about it, or there's been a crisis, some kind of emergency, it's not going to be your choice really anymore. Somebody else is going to make it happen for you. And so really just knowing what your options are, and like the old thinking of what a group home was, it's not just for drug addicts, or they aren't dark and dingy. I mean, there are some.
Sure.
But
there's always going to be a few bad apples here and there.
Exactly. But it's so different now.
Explain a little bit more, because there are so many options, and obviously it's important for folks to contact you directly to understand all of this. But can you give just a brief description of what's going to be the difference between a group home compared to a, say, standalone assisted living, for example?
Absolutely. I would say the number one difference is ratio of staff to residents. It's
Yes.
going to be much more help, so to speak, ratio caregivers to residents in a group home because it's a smaller setting.
Right.
Uh,
And group home is a home.
it is. It's
Yes.
between
So not a
5 and
commercial building, it is a home. And I
That's
think some
right.
people get confused on that. I'm sorry to
yeah,
interrupt you.
no, between 5 and 10 bedrooms. That is what, and they're both licensed as assisted living. The communities traditionally are going to have more activities, more
Right.
amenities, maybe a fitness center, a hair salon. But more and more of the homes, as they're coming up new, are adding these things in.
Oh, really?
Mhm.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's really
So you can get everything you're looking for. It's just a matter of figuring out what are you looking for.
that's right.
So when somebody does reach out to you, what would you like to see them prepared with? Should they know what things should they be able to provide you with right off the bat to make the process more streamlined?
Yes. What their needs are, why they would consider moving, their budget.
That's very important because there's
It
a
is,
wide
yes.
range.
There is, yes, and there is something for every budget. It's not necessarily the lower the budget, the less care, which is number one. But also, do they have a long-term care policy? Are they a veteran? Can we get them connected? So that's all going to go into the budget, spouse and themselves. So, and then also knowing the location that they would desire.
Okay.
And do they want to be where they are, where their friend group is, closer to family? Yeah, where in the valley they would like.
Okay. And what is the best way for people to reach out to you?
Telephone, website.
Okay. Do you want to go ahead and share that with us?
I would love to. It's the website is newdaylifestyles.com. And we're also on Facebook and Instagram. And then my telephone number is 913-481-5265.
Excellent. And what is the big takeaway that you want to make sure that folks that are watching this get from? You've given a lot of great information,
Yes.
But we know it can be a bit overwhelming. So what is the main key takeaway, would you say, for today?
I would say don't wait until there's a crisis.
Yes.
Let's plan just like you plan for college or for retirement. This is part of it.
Absolutely.
Let's get out there and explore, even if you're not ready today, but do it before there's a crisis.
I'm glad you brought that up. There is no commitment when somebody reaches out to you.
No, that's right.
So
this is a free service I provide to the patient and family. And it would be, we have contracts with as many places as are out there that we've gone to. So, which is many. And so they would be the ones that would pay the fee. It would be the community or the
so
free service.
The like Julia had said, the key takeaway is that don't wait until you're in that urgent situation. If you're even thinking about it now, contact you. Go and look at some communities. You know what to look for, what key triggers there may be, and just be aware of what's out there. And then when they are ready, whether that be now or 3 years down the road, they've at least done that due diligence.
And especially if somebody is a caregiver. Just because it's going along fine and then something can happen,
right?
To either one of them.
Absolutely. Okay. Yeah. Well, go ahead and share your contact information one more time with everybody.
Julia Moon, newdaylifestyles.com. My telephone number is 913. That's Kansas City number, but I am definitely here in Arizona. 913-481-5265.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I'm glad you were here with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Retirement's Next Steps podcast. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me at 303-204-4432 or via email at jill@degeorgepartners.com. If you would like to attend one of our Retirement's Next Steps workshops, you can find the schedule on our website at Templeton-Haislip.com. Make sure to subscribe to Retirement's Next Steps YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook and LinkedIn. Wishing you a happy and fulfilling retirement. We look forward to connecting with you again soon.